Are you obsessed with Los Angeles? Head over heels in love with the City of Angels? Well, this is the podcast for you. At Lifehacks LA, we hack the best in arts, eats, and activities in Los Angeles. So join us and become an LA hacker. Baby, baby. Hey, what's going on, LA hackers? You know, thousands of people move to Los Angeles every year to try to break into the entertainment business. That could be you, or you probably at least know someone who has. But it's not all about just being that next A-list actor or that big music superstar. Many people move here to work behind the scenes in the entertainment industry, whether that's as a PR person, an agent, a media consultant, an animator, and the list goes on and on. But these jobs are super competitive as well. There's talented people who move to Los Angeles from all over the world, all dreaming of working in the entertainment industry with these type of positions. And that's why I'm really excited to have our next guest on. Her name is Brittany Rendak, and she grew up in Chicago, always dreaming of moving to Los Angeles and working in the entertainment industry. And she's going to share how she did that. She's made that dream a reality. She now works in PR for a large media company, representing many talented people in Los Angeles. But she's going to describe to us how she was able to move to Chicago, not really know a lot of people, and break into the industry, and now have a successful job in PR. So I think whether you work in the entertainment industry yourself, or you know someone who does, or even someone who wants to move here to Los Angeles, it's an interesting interview to see how that she was able to do it. All right, so check out this interview with Brittany, and I'll see you on the other side. Hey, what's up, LA hackers? Welcome to another episode of the Life Hacks LA podcast. Today we got a really cool episode because we're going to be hacking our way into the media and entertainment industry, and we're doing that with our very special guest, Brittany Rendak. How are you doing today, Brittany?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. By the way, did I say your last name right?
Yes, that was right.
Okay, cool. I meant to ask you that before I started
No worries.
the podcast, but
Some people butcher it, but I'm like, it's not that hard. But
yeah, it's not that hard, but you just got to look carefully. It's Rendak. Okay,
yes.
cool. Okay, so Brittany, we're going to talk about so many people dream of moving to Los Angeles and breaking into the entertainment industry. So we're going to talk about how you did that. But before we go into that specifically, can you just give us a little bit about your background, where you're from originally, and how did you come to Los Angeles?
Sure. So originally I am from a suburb outside of Chicago, and I grew up there, but I was actually born in San Francisco, but I lived there till I was only 3. So at a young age, I always knew I wanted to be back in California, and specifically LA. It was funny because my mom has told me since the day we've moved, I've always asked her, like, Mom, why did you move us away from the palm trees? So, and it's funny because I'm obsessed with palm trees to this day. It's one of my favorite parts of LA, just to drive by, or we would go on vacation to like Florida, and I would always want to leave Chicago. But so basically after college, I came back home and I got an internship, and I was working that internship and then also working a second job on the weekends, serving to save money to move to LA, and kind of just like researching and making a plan so I could actually move, because my parents were like, we're not helping you. No one was helping me or anything. It was kind of like my thing, and I always wanted to do it. So I actually I was still applying to things in LA. I just wasn't getting anything back at all. So I ended up using like one of my friends who lives here. I used her address and finally got like 3 interviews that I heard back from. So I flew out here, did the interviews. I got 2 offers. So I ended up accepting one of them. So I basically had 2 weeks to move. So I told my parents, like, well, I got a job. They're like, how? So I packed up and I somehow moved from Chicago to LA in 2 weeks, and that's kind of how it all started.
That's awesome. That takes a lot of guts, especially like moving to Los Angeles, because I also moved from LA. I wasn't born here. It's harder to get a job when you don't live in the city. It's almost like people don't take you serious, But
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a little difficult.
So where are you from?
Oh, most of my time was in Seattle, but I was going to say I've spent a lot of time in cold places. My dad was in the military, so we moved around a lot, mostly to cold places. And Chicago, one night I was in Chicago, it was the coldest I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, I definitely do not miss the winters. It's nice
Yeah.
to I go back about once a year now just for like Christmas, and it's like I'm good for just snow and cold for one time a year now.
Yeah, that wind is no joke. That like cut right through me.
That's the worst part. Yeah, they don't like it's really called the Windy City because that worst part is the wind.
Yeah, but Chicago's a cool town, but I'll just
Def-
go there in the summer.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right, so you touched on a little bit the obvious, which we all love about Los Angeles, which is the weather. But can you tell us more reasons in general why you love LA so much? What made you as a kid and as an adult just like strive to get here, and what makes it a unique place to live for you?
Sure. So I think there's so many things I love about LA, but I think the main reason is I love how there's always something to do here. So like I'm literally never bored. I'm a pretty busy person. And sometimes I even have to tell myself like, all right, just relax and take a break today because I feel like I'm always out and about doing something new or going to work or trying exploring a new part of LA. So and like I'm not really home that much, but that would be the main thing I would say. I also I actually live in Santa Monica by the beach. So I go there, I would say about once a week. It's like my happy place and it's a great stress reliever. So I love doing that. And then another thing I love about LA is I love meeting and being surrounded by so many people that have like the same love for music and entertainment and that kind of lifestyle because you can't really find that anywhere else. It amazes me that I go out and meet people like out at a concert or even like at a coffee shop and you I feel like I find something in common with almost every person I meet and it's just so interesting that there's so many people with the same dreams and ambition and you can always find something in common with them, so I love that.
Yeah, those are all things I love about Los Angeles as well. Now you were saying that you were really into moving to LA even from a young age. So did you know or appreciate how much there was to do here, or is that something you kind of discovered once you were living here? Like
So I
endless
visited,
amount.
yeah. I just always loved like the Hollywood, like I always like I want to go to Hollywood. I just loved I like grew up like I love dancing and singing. So I grew up at like performing to my parents all the time. So like and I grew up loving like Britney Spears and I we came to visit one time and I saw Britney Spears somehow when I was younger. So that was just kind of was like I have to be there with her and that was what kind of like but I yeah definitely at a young age I didn't know what it would be, so it's kind of as I got older I would do research and see all those amazing things and I'm like oh my gosh there's so much to do and it only made me fall in love with it more. And then when I took my mom took me here again, like I went once in high school too and then we went after before I was going to move and my I have an older cousin who lives here and he gave us a whole tour of LA and I was just like I have to be here and that's kind of when I was like I'm going to do anything I can to get here and then that's like right before I moved.
Yeah, it's something, I mean, it's hard to even appreciate till you live here just how much there is to do. I mean, it's just insane amount to do. But
Yeah.
let's talk about your career here in Los Angeles. So you not only moved to Los Angeles, got a job and moved to Los Angeles, but you broke into the PR, entertainment, media world, which is very hard to do, even if you're living here. Can you tell us a little bit about how much of your decision to move to Los Angeles personal versus that career opportunity? Because you talked about how much you were in love with LA before, but then it was also the job. So was the job just an excuse to move to Los Angeles, or?
I would say it was definitely evenly for both. So I think that's kind of how I've always looked at it. I was like, this is great um, for what I want to work in because I've always wanted to be in entertainment and music. And then I also just love the LA lifestyle. So I think it kind of all fell together. It was just something that I always wanted to do. But LA is definitely the place to be for my career path and what I want to kind of succeed in. So I would definitely say it's both. And you can't find like the PR entertainment that's here. You can't find that. You can kind of find some of it in New York, but like it's really all in LA specifically. So it's just the place I would have to be if that's where I want to go.
Yeah, and I think that you can't overstate like how competitive it is because everyone knows that thousands of people all over the world dream of moving to Los Angeles, but I think they generally think of it as like people dreaming to become an actor or a director or a music star or whatever. But it's competitive in the entertainment industry, period. There's so many smart, talented people who move from all over. So I kind of want to ask you, like, what gave you the courage to do that? Like that this girl from Chicago, who's singing Britney Spears in the mirror, like is okay. I'm the one. I can do this. I can move out to LA by myself and make it in that very tough, competitive world of entertainment.
So yeah, so honestly, I feel like I'm a big like I like my motto is like live the dream. So, but I also like I do get scared about things, but for some reason, honestly, like this was like the one thing in my life that I always knew I would do. Like it like kind of in my mind, I always knew that I just wouldn't fail kind of. So I never even had like a second guess that like, oh, I'm not this is not gonna work out. And so I think that helped me because I was always putting this positive energy on like I can do this and I'm going to do it, and I never like doubted myself. And the other thing I think helped was I'd been talking about wanting to move to Hollywood basically all my life, and I could tell like a lot of my family and close friends like they're like, oh, that's cool, but like I could tell like deep down they didn't actually believe me that I would do it kind of. And especially after college they were like, oh, so when are you moving? And like no one actually thought I was like gonna go. And then like when I said I got a job, like all them were like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. Like, and then like it's weird also to this day, I have people from like high school or college that I maybe don't keep like as a good touch with, and they'll reach out to me and they'll be like, I'm so proud of you. Like, that's amazing. You did what you said you were going to do. And like, I'm always thinking in my head, like, yeah, that's why I said I was going to do it. Because I'm going to do it. So I kind of always knew, like I talked about it because I knew this is where I was supposed to be, and I knew this would be my home. And so coming here, it was like I was definitely scary, but it also just, I felt like at ease and like I felt at home, and it was different. And then I think like even in college, I think I was more afraid than being here, and I'm way further away. So I think it was just always what I was supposed to do.
Yeah, well, that's a really cool trait to have. And that's the reason why I ask you is because so many people are kind of frozen, like, okay, I'll move next year, I'll move next year, I'll move next year. And that's probably why your friends were questioning whether you were going to do it. But
Hmm.
like to have the courage to actually do it. And I think it kind of goes back to what you said earlier about how one of the things you love about Los Angeles is you find all these people who are kind of on your wavelength. But
Hmm.
part of it is people who move to Los Angeles. It's not just the entertainment part, but it's the people that have the courage to do what you did, which is move to LA. Because I went through the same thing. I was like scared to move, and I
Uh-huh.
finally got up the nerve, and I had a million excuses like, oh, I can't leave my good paying job and all this stuff. So I think
Exactly.
that's part of the magic of LA is the people that move here are ambitious and they have bigger dreams.
Exactly. And it's interesting, a lot of the people are out of state as well, or not from here. So I feel like a lot of people that I bond with are the same way, they came from somewhere else, or you're not even, or like I have friends from like San Diego, and it's still the kind of the same thing because they always wanted to be in LA or something. So it's interesting how people that are from LA, you can kind of see like a difference too.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about your career in Los Angeles. So you work in PR. Can you tell us a little more about what that's like? Maybe take us through what a typical day is like versus one of your more exciting days, because I know you work with entertainment folks and stuff, and just in general what PR is and what it's like for you.
Sure. Yeah. So actually, so yeah, my first job that I got in LA was in marketing, and it wasn't really in entertainment. It was actually in real estate. And then in like less than a year, because I always knew I want to be in entertainment, I got my first job in entertainment. It was at like a music video and production company where I was the PR person for it. And then I always wanted to work at an actual agency. So I was applying, and so that's where I'm at now. And I've been here since January 1st. So basically, every day is different at my job, which is one of my favorite things. I come in, like I know I kind of have a schedule, but something could come up or something that I have to do. So like I like that it keeps me on my toes. And I work in the talent division. So I work directly with like actors and singers and YouTubers and any kind of talent. And our main job is to pitch and book our clients to get them press and to be on talk shows and premieres. And so they'll be like promoting a movie. And so we have to book them press and make sure that they're getting good reviews for that and such. So I guess I can explain like a tip. I'll give like a typical day could be I come in and I have to connect a client to an interview that they have for a magazine. And then I may have to create a schedule for another client because they're going to be on Jimmy Kimmel the next day or something. Then I might have like a conference call, and then we have to send out pitches to the shows to get our clients in. And then anytime there's like a press break or a client is mentioned somewhere, we want to be the first one to send that to our client, if they're in a magazine or something that we book for them. And then also we have to attend like events and appearances with them. So if they have a premiere, there's normally a red carpet. So our job is to make sure they're comfortable and we meet them there. And then we walk them down the red carpet through photos and through interviews. And so we kind of make sure that the reporters aren't asking anything we don't want them to ask, and just making sure everything goes smoothly, making sure they're getting enough interviews. If they're like not as big, we have to like ask reporters, oh, do you want to talk to so and so? So that's kind of the basics of it. And then if they have like a photo shoot, we have to go with them. So like I could come in the office and do like a half a day and then, oh, I have to run out and cover like a photo shoot. So it's every day's different. I love it. And then also I want to stress it's definitely not a 9 to 6 job. And we're basically working 24/7. I come home and I still have like emails or something comes up. So yeah, it's basically a basic gist of it.
Wow, sounds like a pretty fast-paced and exciting job.
Yes, it is, definitely.
So I wanted to ask you, are you assigned to certain clients, or you guys just all handle all the clients as a company?
Correct. So we have a fashion department, a TV department, a lifestyle department, and then I'm in the talent one. So basically we have like I think we have 6 publicists, and then we each have like then there's juniors and assistants. So we're each assigned to like one or two of the top publicists, and those are their clients that we assist with. So I will only be with the clients that my bosses work with, if that
Oh,
makes
I
sense.
see. Okay.
Yeah, so there's a bunch, but I mean, if they need help or something, we'll do it. But I'm only emailing and like pitching for my specific client with my boss.
Yeah, because I imagine that they want to work with the same people. Like if they like you, they want to work with the same PR person.
Exactly. Yeah. So they have like, yeah, I mean, and we share clients. So like it could be one person is sharing, they have like 2 publicists on them. And so a lot of our companies doing that, like, oh, so and so they share this person. So it's a lot of shared. And then there's people like me that are like the juniors, and then the assistants that are working with them to do everything.
Do you guys go as far as helping them with their interviews too, like what to say, like coming up with funny stories or whatever, or do you just kind of book the thing and then leave it up to them?
Yes, definitely. For especially the ones that are just starting out, because a lot of our newer clients are like coming up in like, oh, like a new movie, like she's the new lead of this movie, and maybe she wasn't as like no one really knew her before, and so she's taking on PR. So that's kind of then we have to kind of put it a different way. So now we have to teach her like, oh, how to speak on camera, how to interview, like how are we going to pitch her because she's never been in press before. So then yeah, that's when we have to like help her with that. And then it's different, like some of our older clients that are used to that, we can just throw them in and they know what to do.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely different. And then they're also easier to pitch. So like a new person is going to be harder to pitch, and we're going to have to figure out what outlets are going to take her and how we're going to pitch her to make her wanted and such.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely so valuable, just that part of it, because the way things are now, you say one wrong thing and it could go viral and ruin your career. And
Mhm.
then I see so many of these actors on like press junkets and they never say anything wrong. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
they're obviously tired and frustrated and they still somehow keep it together and never say anything too controversial or crazy.
Exactly. And sometimes you can't stop them though, because you're not the one in there. You're like, oops, and they said something, but some of them have a mind of their own. So
I've seen a few actors get a little pissed off, but some of those reporters are cross the line.
exactly. It could go either way.
Yeah. So we talked about how so many people want to move to Los Angeles, and so many people
Mhm.
dream about having a job like yours, like working in the exciting world of entertainment. Do you have any advice in general for someone who's maybe coming out of college and they live in Chicago or Ohio or Florida and they dream of moving to Los Angeles and getting a job in PR and entertainment?
Yeah, for sure. So I would say I kind of touched on this earlier, but I think it really helped me if you have a friend or anyone's address you can use and you're applying and to start applying. And then you just have to be willing to actually go out and do the interviews. Otherwise, that's not going to help you. But that's when I got all the interviews when I did that. So I think you should do that. And then also just networking. I know when I was looking for my first job, I was messaging people on LinkedIn. I was going to companies that I would want to work for, and I was adding them and then messaging them and seeing like if they had any openings and such like that. And then also, I attended a few networking events too, and I joined like there's like some Los Angeles Facebook groups that I was in before I even moved here. So there's tons if you just search on Facebook, Los Angeles, whatever, and you can find anything. There's like a creative group that I was in as well, and they have job postings all the time. So I would definitely say it's a lot about networking to get your foot in the door for that first thing. And then once you're in, it's easier to keep going and you meet like I've met so many more contacts at my job that I have now. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I think that takes a skill as well because, we've had contact with each other before. I'm not even sure exactly how, but it feels like I know you. And I get a
Yeah.
lot of people who hit me up that are kind of annoying about it.
Yeah.
So there's some skill, I can't even put my finger on it, where you're able to contact someone without being pushy or, like I felt like I already knew you. So like it was
Yeah,
just talking to someone that I already know.
exactly. I feel like we follow each other for like how long? Like I feel like a while, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, but what I'm saying is that I've had people contact me that are, they're basically asking for something at their first contact with, I don't even know the
Mhm.
person or anything.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of, I don't know if it's because your background PR, but it's definitely a skill of networking and connecting with people without being like a jerk about it.
Exactly. And you can't just also message them being like, oh, hey, how are you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, no one's going to answer that either. There's definitely a way you have to go about it. Definitely.
You weren't like, this is Brittany from Chicago. Give me a job right now. I would
Exactly.
DM you every day.
Right. No, yeah, I get a lot. Yeah, I get a lot of, I do get some messages like that too. I know what you're saying. Like from my blog, I have a post on how to get a job before you move here, and people are like, they'll tell me their whole life story in one thing. Like, how do I get a job in acting for this? And I'm like, I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
so I know what you mean.
So how long ago did you move here? 3 years, did you say?
Yeah, so it'll be 3 years next month. Yeah.
Okay, so this is more of a personal question, and I ask it just because I think Los Angeles and every city kind of has its own stereotypes. And you hear this one about Los Angeles, how it's kind of lonely, even though it's a big city. So,
Hmm.
what was it like when you first moved here? You were single, you didn't know that many people, and you were new to Los Angeles. Was it hard to make friends, or is that mostly based on a person's personality? Because I hear sometimes that it's hard to make friends in Los Angeles.
Yeah, so definitely. It was definitely hard. Like college was way easier. But I would say I got a little bit lucky because I mean, this isn't much, but I think I had about like I would say 3 or 4 like close friends that I could like text to hang out only, which is still better than none. But I had like, because I had one friend that moved here from college too. I had one that's actually from here that I went to college with. So, I definitely texted them and hit them up when I got here. And I think I can't exactly remember. Like, I remember just hanging out with them and meeting people through them was kind of how I found the rest of my friends. And I also joined like some LA like Facebook groups and then like meeting people on Instagram. Like, people would message me, I would message them. And then definitely through other people. But I do remember like Sundays would be like a lonely day. I would talk to my family a lot. But I also was like on such a grind to work and to get the next step in my career. So I never felt like too lonely because I did have like a few like good friends. And now my friends that I have is like a great core group that we've all met like through each other. And I'm also someone who I like to invite like whoever and wherever I'm at. Like if someone's like, what are you doing? Like I like to invite people together. So we kind of all meet each other's friends kind of. So I've always been like that. So that definitely helps.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I see what people are saying. Like, it is kind of hard to meet people, but if you just have an active social life in your own right, and then you just invite people to join you in what you're doing, it usually works out pretty well.
The only difficult thing is someone lives like in the valley and we live on the west side. You don't really see. I have a really good friend that lives in Hollywood, and I live in Santa Monica, and she's always like, "Come here," and I'm like, "You come here," and then we like don't see each other because it's so far.
Yeah. Well, you've seen those memes, right? Those dating memes where they're like, they live on the other side of the
Yeah, the
405.
dating one, yeah, and it's like travel to the 405 through the 101. Yeah.
Yeah, like you don't date past this certain amount, depending on what city you live in, but it's really true.
I know. I have a friend that's like, I don't date South Bay. That's too far.
Yeah.
Funny.
You'd be like in a long distance relationship if the person lived in Burbank.
Exactly.
All right. So you talked about like dreaming of living in Los Angeles when you were a kid and you had came here a few times to visit. Are there any, now that you've been here 3 years, are there any perceptions that you had about LA that you found not to be true or not so much true now that you've been here?
So I would say, I mean, so many that like I did my research and all my perceptions that I did before I moved, mostly all of them actually came to be true. Like I didn't think the traffic would be this bad. And like I didn't like they said it was expensive and I was like, no, but like I went home from Chicago like a month ago and I was out with my dad. I'm like, wow, can't I now I remember how expensive LA actually is. But I don't know. I would say a perception that I had was that I thought, well, I didn't know the city would be this big. And I didn't know that, like, I did my research on, like, oh, where you should live, like, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't know that, like, actually each area is so unique and so different. And so I didn't know that you really do have to do your research and actually have to visit, like, each area. And I also think you have to live here for a little bit before you can decide like what part of the city fits you and your personality best. So, for instance, I'm on my third apartment in 3 years here, and I finally feel like this is where I will be for a while because I finally like love it and feel at home. When I first moved here, I moved downtown, which was not my place, and then my next place was in Mar Vista, which I also really liked, but our place had cockroaches, so that was
Oh,
fun. But yeah, but now I love Santa Monica. I live 10 minutes like walking to the beach, and I would not trade that away. And I got really lucky for this place too. So that's what I think is a misconception, I guess, because I had no idea it would actually like going to Echo Park is so different, than everywhere else. It's weird.
yeah, it's so true. And like you said, it's not something you can appreciate till you live here. The difference
Mhm.
between a place like Echo Park and Santa Monica and
Valley.
I don't know,
Yeah.
Burbank, Hollywood, they're downtown, they're all so different.
Yeah, and I always thought that I'm like, oh, when I first moved here, I'm like, oh, I kind of want to move in West Hollywood next. And then after I had lived here for like the 8 months, I was like, never mind. I don't want to live there. That's a good place to visit, but it's not for me.
Yeah, Santa Monica is amazing. The thing about
Yeah.
Santa Monica though is it's very difficult to find a place, one, and then two, it can be difficult to get in and out of there.
Yeah. Oh, I have another, I guess, I don't know. I didn't know that you could like perception. I was looking on all these like apartment hunting and like weird like apps to try to find my place, the first place, but I didn't know like LA you could actually use Craigslist and it's not creepy. So the place that I have right now, I actually found on Craigslist, and I have two roommates that I'm actually very close with, and I got really lucky, so it worked out.
Oh, Chicago Craigslist is creepy or something?
I guess, yeah. I was telling my younger sister that I was looking at a place on Craigslist and she was freaking out. She's like, please be careful. Call me when you're there. I'm like, no. I'm like, it's okay here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. So, Brittany, for my next question, I want you to use your imagination, okay?
Okay.
I want you to pretend like you dropped your cell phone in the ocean and you don't have it. So, you're actually not working today. It's one of the few days in PR that you're not working. You'll probably be panicking, so this world doesn't even make sense, but
My boss is
just
freaking
bear with me.
out.
All right. So, let's pretend for whatever reason, maybe it's, you don't have to work that day for whatever reason. Excuse me. Can you take us through what you would consider a perfect day in LA for you from the moment you get up in the morning and till you go to bed at night? Take us through like your perfect, awesome Brittany LA day.
Sure. Let's see. So I would get up probably like pretty early. I don't really sleep in that much anymore. I would either I go boxing at Mayweather in West Hollywood, which I love. So I would either do boxing or I would go like on a hike if I wanted to go outside or do the Santa Monica stairs if I wanted a really good workout. Those are intense. But I definitely like to start my day with a workout and be outside if possible. I guess I would after that, if I'm staying local, I actually just found this like local gem of a diner kind of right by my place. It's called Ray's Diner, and it's like this 1950s diner that's operated by like a family. And you go in and you immediately feel like you're at home. They only accept cash and it's super cheap and really good. So I just found this by walking around. I was walking with my friend like a month ago. It was super good. And then I like to, if I had a day of freedom, I'd like to go like explore something new that I haven't done in LA. So I normally will get online, I'll do some research and see like what haven't I seen yet. I'll go there and take pictures, or I like to go on the Venice boardwalk as well and watch and people watch because that's always interesting.
Definitely.
And then yeah, then there's also like a Venice Ale House that I like stopping in there on the Venice Boardwalk. It's a really cute little place. I took my mom there before too.
Is that the
Um,
one with the glass right on the boardwalk, right across from the pier?
yes,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Okay, I love
it's
that
really
place.
nice. It's cute, yeah. And then I would probably, I guess there's two things I would either want to like walk on the beach at sunset or like pack like a picnic for dinner with my friends. We love doing that. And there's like their peer concerts in Santa Monica too over the summer. So we always will pack like a picnic and stuff and go do that for sunset, which is I love doing that. And then I guess I would also love to end my day like going to kind of any kind of concert or doing like karaoke. I love doing that here. It's like my favorite thing is there's like you can rent like private booths in Koreatown with your friends and bring anything you want in them and you can rent them for like a few hours. And then I also love going to this place called Break Room Karaoke in Culver City, which is really fun too.
It's called Break Room.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of that one.
It's awesome. I used to work, my old job was over there, so we used to go there a lot and it was super fun.
Yeah, you're right about Korean karaoke because I'm not even like a big karaoke guy, but one year I had a birthday party in one of those uh, karaoke rooms in a Korean bar, and it's
Uh-huh.
just a different experience. It's so much fun.
Oh wait, sorry, not break room. That's something else. It's called Backstage, Culver
Eh,
City.
yeah, were you thinking Break Room 86?
Yeah, I was thinking of that place, which I like too. Break Room 86.
Okay, okay. Yeah, because you said
I was like,
Koreatown and then you said Break Room 86.
yeah, sorry. I was like, wait, that's not it. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I like Break Room 86 too. That's cool. But Backstage in Culver City was the karaoke one I was thinking of.
All right, so just so people out there that might not know, so Break Room 86 is this amazing secret entrance bar in Koreatown. The whole bar is made up to look like the year 1986 down to the detail. It's unbelievable.
Yes, and then you go out like a secret way to get out of it too.
Yeah. Now, I must have been really drunk because I don't remember how I got out of there. I just remember going in and being like crazy impressed.
It's the same way that you go out and then you have to go out through this other entrance. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was like some dark thing, and then you end up on the side of the alleyway or whatever. It's really weird.
Oh, okay.
Have you been to Blind Barber?
No, but I've heard of it.
Well,
That's the
that one's in,
speakeasy bar with
yeah, that one's in Culver
the
City
barber
too. That
shop.
one's cool. Yeah,
Can you? I haven't heard of the place that you just mentioned in Culver City. What was the name of that bar?
backstage one.
Backstage. Okay, what is that bar about?
So that's just like a karaoke bar. So it's backstage, and it's really fun. Like you can, so that's different from the rooms because people actually go up there and perform. And then it's just like a smaller room. And me and my one friend will go there a lot. And the people that sing are actually really good. And it's just really fun. You can go with like a group of friends.
Have you heard of Brennan's?
Yeah, in Venice.
No, it's in Culver City too, I believe. Well, maybe it's Venice. I don't know. It's the one where they have the turtle races.
Yes, I think that's right by my old place. Like it's like Mar Vista, Venice. I think.
Okay,
Um,
yeah, you're
yeah,
right. Yeah,
I've
it's
been
close.
there for the turtle races. Yes.
Oh, really? I've
Yeah,
always wanted to do that. How, was
I
it
done
fun?
that. I done that one time with my friend. Her entire company for work went, so I went with her. But I've never heard of turtle racing. Like this is so interesting.
Yeah, that's what makes it interesting is they've
And
always
that
coming up with something. They've always got to come up with something new, right?
they have all these rules, like you're not allowed to shout at the turtle and all these weird things that I didn't know what was going on. But yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to stay on that track right there then. So I know you've only been in Los Angeles for 3 years, but because of the industry you're in and your adventurous nature, you said that you always are going on Instagram and going on websites looking for new things to do. I wanted to talk to you about some of your favorite LA hacks. You know, those secret spots or suggestions you have or recommendations for places that fly under the radar or that have really surprised you that you really love since you've been here.
Okay, sure. So definitely, I have like two food places that I found that I love that many people that I talk to haven't heard about. So the first one is so being from Chicago, I obviously love my deep dish pizza. So the first thing when I moved here, I was trying to find it, and I found it probably like a year in, and it's like this hidden gem. It's in Echo Park, and it's called Massa, and it's also BYOB, and it's super good. It's just like it's massive Echo Park, and you can order like your pizza ahead of time, and then you can because it's pretty packed, so you like or you can order at the register and sit there, and then they'll have it ready by the time you're sitting down at your seat. And the pizza is definitely, I would say, like the best pizza that I've had that's deep dish outside of Chicago.
Now,
So
do they
it's
only
good.
serve deep dish there?
No, they have both, and they have like other food too, but that's what they're known for. And it was
Oh, okay.
funny. Our When I first went there, our waiter was from Iowa, so I was like talking about it. 'Cause I'm like, "Wow, I'm from Chicago. This is really good." He's like, "Yeah, I'm from Iowa." He's like, "That's why I work here." So um, it's a really cool place. I definitely would recommend going in there. I've tell all my visitors to go there and people that I see. And then I also like this place in Santa Monica. It's called Rosti, and it's another BYOB place, and it's like an Italian place, and they have the best pink sauce pasta. And me and my friends go there all the time. It's right by my apartment, and it's super good. And it's also like a hidden gem. It's kind of smaller, and people don't really know about it, but it's really good.
That's pretty good because I haven't heard of
Yeah,
either of those. I mean,
yeah.
and I obviously research this stuff. So when you say BYOB, you actually bring your own beer in? Like,
So yeah, you're allowed to bring. I mean, I've just brought wine, but I think you can bring anything because it's BYOB. I think the Rosti place I'm talking about, I actually just went 2 weeks ago, and the waiter told me they just got their liquor license, but you can still bring your own bottle too. So I'm like, that's cool.
wow.
But they didn't even sell it before. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it's pretty common to bring a bottle of wine and then you pay a corkage fee or whatever,
No,
but
that there's no corkage fee for both of those places.
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's cool. So I think those are my two food spots. I would also say like another secret hack I tell a lot of people if they're moving here is to live like as close to where you work as possible while still living in the area you want to be in. Because I mean, for me, I when I first moved here, I was commuting like over an hour, and I was just miserable, like you know what I mean, like gone like gone 9 to 6 and then not getting home till 7 and doing it again. So I think if you figure out like how to do the traffic. So like when I go to Santa Monica to Beverly Hills for work every day, I'm going against traffic there and going against it back. So I have a really easy commute, and I like researched that and decided where to live because I knew where my work was. So I think if you can figure that out and figure out when the traffic is, that will make your life so much easier.
That is so true. You know, obviously I get asked all the time, like, what's your favorite LA hack? And that is number one by far. Like just in
Yes.
general, being happy in Los Angeles is
Hmm.
live close to where you work. So wherever
It's
I've
so true.
lived,
Yeah.
I've pretty much hung out there. You
It's so
know,
true. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, because you don't want to spend all your time in traffic.
No, we do not.
And like we talked about earlier, I mean, there's so many, each area has its own amazing, unique things to do. So, you know, whether you live in Echo Park or Santa Monica, you're going to have a lot to do.
Exactly. And yeah, so yeah, that's my advice is find the area you like and see if it's like it will work. So yeah, it works out well. I like it a lot, my commute.
Awesome. Well, you are definitely an LA hacker because you gave me two. I think that's a record for me. Two that
Yeah.
I haven't heard of.
I'm glad.
All right,
Let me
awesome.
know when you try them out. They're super good.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to check out the Echo Park one. The one in Santa Monica, did you say that's a diner or is it like Italian food or what?
It's like an Italian restaurant. It's called Rosti, Rosti.
Rosti. Okay,
Yes.
cool. Definitely. I'm gonna do the whole thing. I'm gonna bring in like a paper sack with beer in it.
You have to get the pink sauce at the Italian place.
All right,
It's really
awesome.
good.
I haven't been to Echo Park in a while. I gotta go back there. I'll
I
check.
know. I think I only go when I go to that pizza place.
I'm kind of a New York pizza guy, but I'm gonna give Chicago pizza another chance if I
Okay, let
come
me know what
across
you think. Yeah, I'm definitely Chicago.
it. All right, cool. All right, Brittany. Well, I really want to thank you for coming on. It's pretty awesome. I applaud you for your courage again to just like move out, capture your dreams, break into the entertainment industry. And it's awesome that you're able to come on here and share some of your experiences for people who have the same dream that you did 3 years ago. And where can people find out more about you, or just find you online?
Sure. So they can find me. My website is brittanyrendak.com. I'll spell it BrittanyRendak.com. And then my Instagram handle is the same thing, Brittany Rendak, BrittanyRendak.
All right. Awesome, Brittany. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. We'll talk again soon. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope you enjoyed that interview with Brittany Rendak as she showed us how she was able to hack her way into the media and entertainment business as a newcomer to Los Angeles and land that dream PR job that she's always wanted. If you want to find out more about Brittany, the best place is her Instagram, and it's just her name, Brittany Rendak. And I'm thinking about doing more interviews like this, people who have interesting jobs in Los Angeles. So if you have any suggestions about jobs you want to hear about, or different interesting careers, or people who have really like unique LA jobs, just let me know, and we'll try to get them on the podcast and interview them and see the behind the scenes and how they're able to do what they're able to do. And as always, if you want to get LA's 10 Best Hacks, you can download our free ebook, LA's 10 Best Hacks, and that's at lifehacksla.com/10 hacks. All right, we'll see you guys next week.